Hi everyone, welcome to Film Log Update number 11. So yes, we're back once again today covering most of the films that I watched or rewatched during July and August 2021. So yes, back again with the Film Log Update and just once again the laptop in front of me and going through my diary, just kind of what I've watched and yes, briefly kind of going through the films that I've been watching over the last 2 months and obviously September now, quite a bit into September, as of recording this, but covering these 2 months, and I always enjoy doing this, and just to kind of some of these films, obviously, I'll be reviewing, some of them not. So it's nice to kind of do this and at least mention most of the films that I've kind of been watching, during a particular time, 2 month period, and just to kind of get some talking points, on a variety of films, as I always say. So yes, let's just dig in, and we'll start off, as I say, laptop in front of me, going through my diary, and we'll start off with the first film of July, and that was a short film that I watched, and yes, Khan by Gaspar Noé, and yes, of course, essentially this kind of prologue really to his film I Stand Alone, and I watched that on the same night, basically just kind of double billing here, the short and then the actual film. The short kind of leads on to, in that sense, of course, a 7-year gap it was in between these two works, just very, very fascinated to see this. Of course, one of the last films really to have seen by Gaspar Noé, in that sense, for the first time. And it was his first film, of course, with I Stand Alone, and yes, Khan as well. I think it's very interesting to see this, and essentially it gives the backstory to I Stand Alone, and I think really it would be if you're interested in seeing this film or these works by Noé, I think it's essential to watch Khan, and it really is. It's very essential in explaining and giving weight to the actual feature film I Stand Alone, which of course was his debut feature, and I think. Overall, my thoughts on these these two films here. The short Khan, I think actually weirdly I preferred to I Stand Alone overall. Having said that, I think there are some things in I Stand Alone that are better, and I think moments of greatness in both. I just think overall as a piece was more kind of compelling to me. I think Khan, the short, just kind of edges it out, and I think both though very enjoyable overall, and very, very compelling and unique. I love the way these were shot and edited, and I think just seeing these, really, I was kind of in awe of this, and some great use of music, and there was some things in the characters working where perhaps I wasn't as kind of invested in these characters compared to say other Gaspar Noé films, but I think definitely while not one of my favourite kind of pieces from him, kind of in feature films, I think I Stand Alone is certainly not one of my favourites from the way. Having said that, really to kind of put it into perspective, it would be around the kind of 80% mark. That's just, I think as well the short it would be around this mark, a little bit better, as I say, than the actual feature. But both films I would recommend, and I think just very unique, and kind of course very brutal. Very, very shocking films. I must say that. Warning there, but I'd certainly recommend them, and just a good kind of film buff experience. Kind of start the month off of July, and yes, the next film, and this was I was on holiday and or time off, and I had a free week and a bit, and I was got some films in there, rewatches of films I love, and yes, the first being Dawn of the Dead, of course, the '78 version, and the original Romero film, and this truly is a stunning film, and I think yes, the review will come at some point. I'm now I'll say as well, I'm doing an actual checklist for every single month, where I'll have particular reviews or videos, and it'll be much more kind of focused. I will. I guess I'm going to be more strict on kind of trying to really get reviews out again, and like before, I guess. And Dawn of the Dead is one of the films that I aim to film, or film review for, this month, September. So yes. Having said that, we'll wait for the review to hear my full thoughts, and overall, of course, I love this film, and do I prefer it to Night of the Living Dead? Find out, and I think both are stunning, and really, I cannot wait to talk about that film, and of course, many people have seen this, and it really is once again, as I say, a legendary film by George A. Romero, and yes, day after that was a rewatch of Badlands. Of course, going through the Terrence Malick films again. Just literally all of them, and of course, including Hidden Life, which I've ordered. It's still not here, and it'll be a few weeks, I guess. But yes, watching every single one again, even the kind of the free films. The kind of the films that he made, recently. The films that aren't too popular, I guess. I don't class them. I don't regard them, for example, as highly as his first. The kind of original 5 features by Malick, and I think Hidden Life, I'll probably likely prefer that to those 3 films. But nevertheless, I'll be going through all of these, and I love Terrence Malick as a filmmaker. He's one of my absolute favourites. Top 15 for me, and Badlands, his debut feature film, of course, a magnum opus, and I've seen this. I think around 4 times now, and just every single time, it just gets better, and it really is one of the best films ever made for me. And yes, we'll get to, of course, another film by Malick soon. But yes, of course, the day after that was King Kong, the 33 version. So yes, the original classic, and I'd never actually seen this all the way through, and I got the HMV Premium, and just put this on, and really enjoyed this one. I think it's definitely at least one of the best kind of King Kong films, and I loved the kind of visuals, the effects, genius really, and I think just I love how in this version, in a general sense, we have more of a kind of cute, charming portrayal of Kong, and just it's more, I guess, more humorous, and it's not as kind of serious in places as some of the renditions. Having said that, there is, of course, some brutal moments, and definitely, of course, everyone knows the tale of Kong. It really is. It's a very tragic, kind of tale of events, and it's got some things that I definitely think. I didn't really, I wasn't compelled by it. I wasn't a big fan of, in places. But overall, very, very good film, and really. Stunning visuals at times, and just in general, the effects, the action in this film, it's so thrilling. It's so kind of just tense, and a highly enjoyable film, and certainly one of the best, at least, King Kong films. And in some regards, it probably would be the best actually that I've seen. But yes, certainly a film that I'd recommend if you've seen that version. And yes. Glossing over there. Next up is Supernova, and it's a film that came out this year, and it's a film that I'd heard a few things about, here and there, and just a highly enjoyable film. This, and I think, really, a very emotional film as well, and I think the performances, are great. Lovely kind of human film. This, and I can't really say too much about this because it kind of would, I don't want to give any spoilers for this. I just say watch the film, and I think it was very, very moving, very simple as well. It's simply told. I think it's not, it's a very, just very to the point. I guess overall, and just a really, lovely film to watch, and really by the end of it, I was definitely very moved, and really praise this film, especially performance as well, Colin Firth, but everyone involved, just great in this film, and it's a really, really compelling film, and as I say, very human, and really beautiful achievement. So yes, Supernova, and I saw that actually in the cinema, which was a great experience, and next up, Kong Skull Island. So I've once again been going through all these. Yes, kind of MonsterVerse films, and I finished them now, and Skull Island for me, it's a film that it's not too popular really overall, but I think this is actually a good film, and I think it was definitely very kind of campy, and just overall very enjoyable in places. I think it started off perhaps not too great, and there's definitely some very strange things. Some crazy moments in this first, but I think as it went on, I was kind of surprisingly kind of really invested in this. I just really think John C. Reilly is a standout in terms of human characters in this film, and overall though I think in terms of comparing to the 2014 Godzilla, the first kind of MonsterVerse film, I think it's way better than that, at least in my opinion, and it's so much more fun and well put together. I think it's just a much better film, and really overall a solid film. So yeah, I think it's definitely kind of underrated in that sense, and I definitely really enjoyed it overall, and yeah, some really nice visuals as well, and I watched it on 4K, so it was great to see. And yes, next up, another rewatch here, The Italian Job, and of course a classic Michael Caine film, and yeah, just I've seen this so many times, kind of growing up, and it's one of my favourite kind of British films in that sense as well, and just a legendary achievement. And there will be a review coming as well, and I did actually have a request, to review that film, and it's been a while since the request. I apologise for that, but yeah, finally, once again, rewatching this film, and I'll have a review up for that at some point, and really a film I absolutely love, and just what an epic. Final act, especially, just one of the best final acts, in a kind of action film like this. It really is just a legendary film, and Michael Caine gives one of his very, very best, most enjoyable kind of performances, in this, and it's this kind of feel-good, wacky heist film. So it's very unique, of course, and it's just insane at times, but such a great film. This thriller, action, kind of comedy film. So yes, just wonderful stuff, and definitely one of my favourite films actually as well. And speaking of favourite films, the day after that was a rewatch of Pulp Fiction, and what can I say? One of the best films ever made, and yeah, I'll be reviewing that as well. Of course, recently I started my kind of Tarantino series on the channel. So yes, after Reservoir Dogs comes Pulp Fiction, and yeah, I have many things to say about the film, and I cannot wait to kind of talk about it again, but more in depth this time round, or just at least more natural, free flowing, and covering different kind of avenues that I didn't. Things I didn't talk about last time round, so I cannot wait for that. And yeah, just of course, I don't really say too much about that, on this video here at least. Most people have seen the film, and most people do love this film as well. So yes, Pulp Fiction, and after that was once again another rewatch, and yes, of course, a surgery only film for a few dollars more, and what a stunning film this is. Of course, the second film in the kind of Dollar trilogy, and yes. What a film this is! Clint Eastwood, even better than he was, in A Fistful of Dollars, and we have Lee Van Cleef in this film, and I'll save my thoughts for the actual review as well for that. But what a masterpiece this is, and one of the best westerns ever made for me, and I think even more so this time round as well. I just kind of thought that's one of my favourite films. It really is such a pleasing film. It's kind of emotional in places, and it really has everything actually. And of course, just Leone directing this film, wonderfully. And yeah, we'll save my thoughts for my review. And yes, next up is Audition, and a film that I'd heard many things about. I'd never seen it, and till now, recently, and I must say, a very good film, indeed. And I think it did kind of lose its. I wasn't as invested. I think thinking on it around the hour and 10 mark actually, precisely. I would say around then when I kind of lost interest. Compared to that first kind of hour and 10 minutes, and especially the final act. I wasn't kind of fully satisfied with, and I just think kind of it went off a bit because at first I absolutely loved it, and I would definitely call it a great film, truly great film until that kind of mark, and then overall though a very good film, and it has some greatness in there, and really, as I say, I loved the first kind of hour and 10 minutes or so, and really just a kind of a highly investing film, just a natural kind of free flowing film at first, the characters, the kind of the wacky feeling it has, and also this disturbing, kind of feeling that slowly creeps in, through the film, and I loved this film, first, and overall really enjoyed it, and would definitely recommend it. It's quite gross, at times, as we go later on in the film, and it's a really disturbing experience, and I wouldn't say it's kind of a light film to watch, but I'd highly recommend it. And yes, Audition. So yes, moving on. Yeah, it's some surprising stuff here. Of course, once again rewatching because I've seen it many times. Paranormal Activity, the first one, of course, and yeah, I watched this once again, and kind of watching it on Blu-ray this time round, and I really enjoyed it this time round. And I think last time round, it was a while back, but I watched it and I thought, it's fine, and I thought, I'm maybe not as into found footage films, as much anymore. That's kind of changed gradually over the last kind of year and a half, actually. I watched, for example, Troll Hunter again, and obviously I've always that's the one I've always kind of loved in a way. But seeing that and then kind of seeing Creep as well. I saw that last year at some point. I can't remember when, but I saw that, and I really like that one actually. And then now watching Paranormal Activity, I must say, some really good actual found footage films that I've kind of. I enjoy seeing them more and more, and I think it's a genre that I'm actually it's growing on me actually, and it's a genre containing some really good films actually, and just a highly enjoyable film, this one, and for me the best of the kind of six films, and that kind of sparked me watching all of the films would you believe, in this these six films. So as of now I've seen all of them, and I might as well say my thoughts on them now, instead of chopping and changing in between different kind of days. But Paranormal Activity 2, I'd seen before 2, 3, and parts of 4, but I'd seen the first 3 all the way through before at least once, and I think the first one is the best, and then 2 and 3 are highly compelling, kind of follow-ups. I think really worthy sequels, and 4 is definitely an enjoyable film. I know these are not acclaimed at all; they're actually quite panned, other than the first one really, and maybe the second at times. But I think overall an underrated franchise. I like every single one of them actually, and I think. After 4 though it does change. We have a different feeling. Having said that, I think 5, the marked ones, it's actually, this is one that I do really enjoy, and I think it's one of the better ones, to be quite honest. And then of course 6, the Ghost Dimension. That is one that I think is definitely the worst, in some regards, and I think. It's kind of disappointing to me, and I know in the 7th one that's coming out at some point, I believe next year. That's one that reading up on it, it's going to be again very different. So we'll see what happens. But definitely, I enjoyed thoroughly watching these 6 films in this franchise, and again 5 and 6 I'd never seen, and especially 5 was a very nice surprise. I think it's very very unique and kind of bold, and I appreciated the kind of change of location as well. Even though I thought at first there was some weird things going on, but I definitely in the end really liked 5. So overall a very enjoyable franchise. The first is the best for me, the Paranormal Activity films, and just very scary. In fact, the third one, I must say, is one of the scariest films that I've seen, really ever, and it's really disturbed me, and I think every single one of them is scary, kind of disturbing and scary. Less so with 6 though. There's some things in that just kind of it loses that sense of dread for me. What they're doing in it. But having said that, I praise every single one of these films. I think they're all likes from me, and it seems like that is not the case overall. A lot of them are panned, but I think it's a really good franchise actually overall, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next entry as well. So yes, that's my thoughts briefly on the Paranormal Activity films. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll rank them on the channel, and because a lot of people are kind of interested in how you would rank the films, and that would be interesting as well. So yes. Moving on into some more films here, a slasher film here from the 80s, The Burning, and I'd heard within the kind of horror YouTube community some really good things about this one, and I must say a highly enjoyable film. In fact, in places I loved this film, The Burning, and it's kind of this kind of summer camp slasher film, and I wouldn't say too much more. It just is really. It's one of those slasher films that's kind of campy, but very well made as well at the same time, and it's really good characters that I cared about, and at the same time, not taken too seriously. It has this kind of wackiness to it. There's campiness to it, and I think, very well shot as well, and there's a cheapness to it, but there is this kind of really kind of this quality to it as well, that's very hard to describe, but I highly recommend this film, and really charming film, and I just had a great experience seeing this, really hilarious film at times, and just highly enjoyable, and we'll gloss over there. Bad day for the cut, very I can't say kind of say too much about this. It was very basic at times, but an enjoyable film, an Irish film, and it really has a nice feel to it, and this kind of grittiness to it, and actually as well, very funny film, in places, and really I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I think there's some things later on in the film that it kind of lost its way, but the first kind of hour or so was very enjoyable, especially, and some really good performances, and kind of it's an independent film that I'd really recommend checking out, and giving it a go, and supporting that, and just seeing what you think of it, and definitely a very kind of memorable experience. So yes, next up, of course, is Non-Stop, and of course Liam Neeson film, this action film, and in this plane for most of the film, and just a film that I'd heard some things about, and I was looking forward to this, and this was very enjoyable actually, very kind of pleasing film to see, and I was invested. I just really overall enjoyed this film. Some great moments of tension, and really the whole film is this building of tension, and it's kind of set in this one location, as I say, for the most part, and it's a very pleasing film. Of course, Liam Neeson was great, and just seeing him, once again in an action film is always great to see, and just really recommend it if you've not seen it. But a few films here that I've watched from the Conjuring universe, of course, and films I'd never seen before, and I must say I wasn't kind of too excited to see these films, I guess, but I saw The Curse of La Llorona, for the first time, in July, as well as Annabelle Comes Home, and I think La Llorona, is definitely for me very disappointing, even though I had very low expectations. In fact, I really disliked this film. I think it was pretty awful, actually, unfortunately, and it just potentially, maybe not quite the worst, of the Conjuring universe films, but I think, if not the worst, it's kind of the second worst, or third worst at least. I think there's a bunch of films, a handful, kind of 3 films of these, this universe that I'm really not a big fan of, and I think this is one of them, unfortunately. And shortly after that, though, I saw Annabelle Comes Home, and I was very surprised by this film. Again, I'd not heard too much great things about it, although it's not a film that is kind of panned in that sense. It's certainly not kind of regarded as kind of as poorly as Annabelle, the first one. But I think I went into it, and bearing in mind I saw Annabelle Creation, and I really enjoyed that one. So kind of I was thinking, what can I expect here? We'll just have to wait and see. And I think actually a very good film once again, and I was very pleasantly surprised by this. Really charming, just a great kind of recreation of a time period, and really enjoyable characters. Very enjoyable film for me, and I do praise this one a lot. Highly recommend it, actually, and I just think I had a really great time with this one, and very scary, but just especially I was just very kind of enjoying the characters, the feel it had, and the comedy, and just the charm of the film, and really highly compelling, and kind of this you could say a hangout film, actually. Thinking on that, that's one of the reasons why I think it was very nice to see, and I think a much needed, it was definitely needed in this universe. So many of these ones have this kind of stock kind of plot and feel to them, and just jump scares for the sake of it, and I'm not someone who bashes on jump scares in general, but there is something about, for example, Annabelle and La Llorona, which is really kind of depressing to see, and I just think it's very disappointing in those films, but this one is definitely very enjoyable, and I was really surprised by this, and really praise this film. So yes, moving on. Yes, next up is once again another Gaspar Noé film, and that is Love, and you know, one of his more recent films. You know, this is very, you know, it seems like it's a divisive film, and some don't consider it that great. For me, it was actually one of the best Noé films that I've seen, and you know, I'd definitely recommend you know, checking it out. You know, it's definitely not my favourite Noé film, but you know, it's definitely you know, I think it's up there. It could be you know, either 2 or 3 actually, and you know, just a film that I was very invested in. You know, a film that, you know, has some things I didn't, you know, enjoy too much, but overall, you know, really took to this one actually, and I do regard it as, you know, one of the better Noé films, and you know, really wonderful visuals, and just you know, very, you know, intriguing kind of the way in which it's told, and yeah, of course, very divisive film. Not everyone loves this film at all, and you know, but I just thought, you know, I'd mentioned that, you know, recommend checking it out. Of course, I've been watching all of Noé's films, and I think this is one of the best at least, and you know, definitely a film that I was very you know, kind of compelled by, and you know, really impressive film. And yes, next up is a film that completely blew me away, by of course the great Alfonso Cuarón. Of course, Children of Men. You know, this film truly is you know, mind blowing, and you know, I watched this film, yeah, for the first time in July, and wow, what can I say? You know, this dystopian film, and of course, yes, Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, Michael Caine, Chiwetel Ejiofor, you know, massive cast. Charlie Hunnam as well, actually, you know, in this very interesting role, and you know, just an all-star cast, and truly blew me away, and you know, I was just so invested in this from the start, and it just got better and better, and you know, the ending as well, you know, the final act, you know, stuff of legends, and you know, this truly fascinating idea, and you know, it really is, it goes above and beyond, you know, just kind of you know, this kind of concept here, and you know, just is for me an absolute masterpiece. One of Cuarón's you know, best films, and you know, I certainly think, yeah, you know, film that I'd recommend seeing, and it's been kind of years of me wanting to see this film, and finally checking this out, and yes, was not disappointed. You know, I think it's one of his absolute you know, kind of greatest films, and you know, it's just an absolute masterpiece, and we'll kind of flick through these. Hush, a film that I kind of enjoyed, this horror film with a kind of a unique concept, and you know, just kind of mostly one location, you know, film here, and I'd recommend it, and not much to say about that one though. We'll just kind of gloss over that, and yeah, some shorts here. Again, I'll kind of go past. Next up, yes, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and yeah, the third film in the MonsterVerse, you know, kind of films, and set of films here. I think you know, this film, you know, it's fine. Again, it's kind of it suffers from you know, the human characters and the kind of narrative. It's definitely not too much. You know, it's kind of, you know, to show you know, or to talk about really, and it is, you know, kind of you know, it's a film you know, with some very good action and visuals. I think for the most part, not always, but you know, and I think it's great to see, you know, all these different monsters, the designs, and you know, it's definitely a film that I enjoyed consistently. However, I think, you know, again, disappointing in kind of, at the same time, you know, it's disappointing, and just a film that I wasn't, you know, loving, and you know, it's a fine film, it's an okay film, nothing too special for me. So yes, rewatched a few films here on the same day: Airplane and Climax, and you know, Airplane, of course, such a great comedy, one of my favourites, of course, and you know, I've reviewed that film, and yeah, just maybe I'll talk about that film again at one point. You know, just yeah, just give a better review, perhaps. Just yeah, many things to say about that. You know, just a great you know, kind of comedy film. Leslie Nielsen, especially, is just legendary in that film. And yes, Climax, of course, I watched last year for the first time by, of course, Gaspar Noé. That was my first film that I saw by Noé, and then of course I saw Irreversible, and yeah, from then, of course. But you know, I watched it again, and the first time round I thought, you know, it's not a film that I enjoy too much, really, you know, but I appreciated it, and you know, there's some great you know, kind of moments I thought in there, but you know, this time round completely changed my mind. You know, I actually kind of, at times I love this film, and you know, I really you know, I think it's a very good film overall, and just a film that really is a highly enjoyable film. As an overall piece, and I think again one of the best Noe films. It's certainly up there. Again, not my favourite, but very very close. To that kind of spot. And I think just a highly compelling film. So much kind of to praise with that one. And yes, so that was July, and next up is August, and mostly I'll say this will be me glossing over because a lot of rewatches for my kind of few weeks around my birthday time. That's what I kind of do most of the time. I will pick more rewatches to be watching around this time and celebrate just a lot of my favourites. So yes, but the first film of the month was Jeremiah Johnson, and a Sidney Pollack film, of course, and of course a director who I've seen Tootsie as well, and I love that film, and of course acting as well, of course notably Eyes Wide Shut, which is a film, one of my absolute favourites, and he's acting in that film, of course. He's one of the kind of supporting characters, and he's so kind of memorable in that film. But yes, Jeremiah Johnson, of course, just Robert Redford, starring in this film, and I think for the most part, I loved this film until the final act. But overall, I did enjoy the final act. It just kind of done some things I wasn't, kind of too on board with, and it lost its way a bit. Having said that, I do, kind of really like this film overall, and I think at first it was really a definite great, and overall not quite, but definitely very good, and I recommend it. This kind of Western film, and just very kind of violent, and at the same time a very kind of a human, kind of charming, and kind of peaceful film to watch. Robert Redford was great in the film, and some baffling moments, but overall really enjoyable film that I recommend. And yes. Kind of glossing through some of these, and yes, Luxor Turner. Of course, there's what is considered by Noe as his medium film, and he doesn't class it as one of his official feature films, and for that reason, for example, on a list I would not include it. Although I do personally, of course, consider it a feature film because it is more than 40 minutes. Certainly, so it's 50 odd minutes. So I personally consider it a feature film, although I respect Noe, and for the fact that he doesn't consider it one of his official features, I don't consider it that, and I wouldn't include it in a ranking perhaps, but it is to me a feature film. But yes, all that aside, I think very interesting film. I think it was more kind of experimental, kind of avant-garde than any of his other works. I definitely think it suffered from that a bit. It was a bit too experimental, and it's more. I think I love the style for the most part, and some very, kind of interesting moments, and the idea of being on set and all this. It's very interesting, and I did enjoy this for sure. But I think it was it's more of an experimental piece. It was kind of nice to see, and to kind of see what I thought of it, and I was very. It's definitely compelled at times, although, I think, it would have actually been nice to see some things, more fleshed out in that sense. It would have been nice to see, this to be longer, but, regardless, really appreciated this, and, just very enjoyable at times. Overall, a solid film that I enjoyed, and not one of my favourites, but, it's not an official feature from Noe, and it's just this. It's kind of a nice, interesting film to see, experimental, period, this kind of work, and I'd recommend it. See what you think of the film Luxor Turner. So yes, now we're on to the kind of a lot of the rewatches here. Starting off with Jackie Brown. Once again, watching the Tarantinos, and I have a few now at this point, backlogged to kind of review that I have currently once again seen on this kind of current director series. But yes, Jackie Brown, stunning film for me, and again, we'll save the thoughts for the review. The day after that, wow, Days of Heaven. Once again, watching this film again, I've seen this around 4 or 5 times actually, and I've talked about this before, and it's certainly once again I'll confirm very high in my top 25 favourite films of all time, and it's very close in some regards to being the greatest achievement in cinema for me, and really is such a kind of special film to me, and it's one of the most very most inspiring, and just kind of films that really means the most to me. And Days of Heaven. If you haven't seen this film, or Terrence Malick's works, I highly recommend it. And this is just really almost as good as films get for me. And just a lovely experience. My absolute favourite experience so far. So yes, every single time I love it more and more. And it was always one of my favourites. It's just it really is one of the greatest works of art in cinema history. And it really is one of the most moving films ever made. Days of Heaven. We'll talk about that as well, my Q&A series, because it kind of is related to some of my questions that I got. So yes, the day after that, I rewatched a Bond film. Of course, No Time to Die is coming out soon, and I wanted to once again watch at least a few Bond films before this, and I chose Octopussy, and as a rewatch. And once again, I think my rating has increased for this film since last time round. A really enjoyable film. It's just such a charming one. I think. Not just campy fun in that sense, and that's fair enough if it's just that, but I think a very, very well made, kind of thriller film, adventure film, and just comedy. Roger Moore is great in this film, really on form, and just all these different characters. Stephen Burkoff as well. His appearance just hilarious. A very, very charming film. Is quite special to me actually, and I do enjoy this quite a bit. I think. If I was to review it again, it would definitely be a higher score, than last time round. And I think every time I see it again, recently I've kind of been increasing the rating. Very charming, very fun Bond film. And finally, of the kind of monsterverse films, of course, Godzilla vs Kong. And this is definitely my favourite, of the four. And I think a very enjoyable film, pretty epic, and again, the human characters at times, and the kind of the character working, the writing is not perfect. It's not great at times. And there's some things I wasn't a big fan of. Overall, though, definitely the best by far. Of these four for me, and I loved the showdown between these two, kind of characters, and it was an epic film at times, and I did overall really enjoy it. Not a great film, but I do praise this one, and just nice to see. And the day after that, going from this to an absolute masterpiece, and once again, of course, Denis Villeneuve, who is just a truly great director, and once again, my second watch this time round. So yes, rewatching Prisoners, and what can I say? I hope to talk about the film at some point, but for now, a truly legendary film, and one of the best films, of the 2010s for me, and just an absolutely stunning piece of work. Performances, especially of course Hugh Jackman, and Jake Gyllenhaal as well. Absolutely stunning in this film, and I'll save that for a review at some point when I get around to it. And just a film that I'd recommend seeing. Many people have seen this, and I do praise it as well. And I just think that a stunning film, and even better this time around watching it. I was so kind of I'm always kind of on both these occasions so kind of instantly hooked on this film, and it's a kind of natural kind of peaceful opening, and then of course things happen, and from then it's constantly kind of intense, and it never lets up, and it feels like it's one of these classic thrillers though as well. It has that kind of feeling, and I really appreciate that, and I absolutely love this film. Just a stunning piece of work, and of course Villeneuve just directs this film wonderfully, and I'd recommend Prisoners if you've not seen it. And yes, the day after that, once again rewatching a film, and even better than Prisoners for me, The Thin Red Line, of course by Terrence Malick, his third feature film, and again I've reviewed that film twice on the channel, and check out my thoughts, my video for my thoughts on that. But it really is one of the greatest, most kind of mind-blowing masterpieces ever made, and for him to kind of go on a 20-year kind of hiatus, in terms of releasing films, and then to come back with a film like this, completely different really, in kind of genre to his first two films, although there are some similarities, in the kind of the visuals, just the way he's, narration and all this kind of stuff, but again, very different, and just to come out with a film like this after 20 years, kind of not making or releasing any films, to make a film that is an absolute masterpiece. It really is. It's certainly a film in that sense that was worth the wait, and just a stunning war film, one of the best ever made for me, and just every time I see this, again, it gets better and better, and I think at times, this is certainly a film that is worthy of being called a magnum opus, and overall, definitely one of my favourite films, very, very high on my list, and yes, after that, I had a Friday-Saturday experience of Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2, so yes, what an experience that was, seeing these two films once again, and I've seen especially the first one many, many times, and just some of my absolute favourite films. I will be reviewing those films at some point, as part of this Tarantino series. So yes, I'll save my thoughts for that. Some would know my thoughts already on the films, and yeah, I just cannot wait to talk about those. And Inherent Vice was the day after that, and this Paul Thomas Anderson film that I would really, really praise. I know it's not very popular, even fans of Paul Thomas Anderson, are not too big on the film, and certainly not my favourite from PTA. But having said that, I think it's a great film. I just say that now, and really enjoy this film. Once again, watching this, just a very it's a film I could just put on and kind of just relax into. It's a very easygoing film. Very kind of the plot is very complex, convoluted, you could say, but in the sense of it's just a nice film to watch, for me, and the time period and the kind of the way it flows, and the feeling of it. I really, really am a big fan of this one, and yeah, Inherent Vice. Again, I'll review that film once I've reviewed There Will Be Blood and The Master. And then I had 2 days, of course, where I watched 2 Hitchcock films, and one that I've kind of seen before, a few years ago now. In fact, it was 2017 that I saw this for the first time, of course, and that is Die for Murder, and really, wow, what an enjoyable film this is. Really, I cannot wait to talk about that film. Of course, a review will be up at some point. As soon as I can get this, kind of filmed, and yeah, the day after that, I watched Marnie for the first time. A very kind of interesting film, and a film that I have to rewatch in order to kind of I guess fully kind of process my thoughts on this film. I think mainly the second half of the film, some things that happened, and it changed the nature of it, and I think that the first half, I'm sure on what I think of it. The second half, as I say, not so much, and a film that is, it's not one of Hitchcock's best. I'll say that now, though. But, having said that, has some of the most interesting, actually, kind of aspects of a Hitchcock film. But overall as a piece, it's not one of his best. But I did really appreciate the film, and I'll get to that, of course, at some point. But I want to rewatch it first, and that'll be no time soon to actually review the film in that sense. But yeah, Marnie, and of course Darwin for Murder. So yes, moving on from that, I watched once again Fight Club, and of course David Fincher. I've been going through his films again, and not. Of course, reviewed some of them already, and I don't plan on reviewing them again. But yes, Fight Club for me, it's just one of the best films really ever made, and I think just a contender for the most enjoyable kind of Brad Pitt film, and that's saying a lot. And I think just an absolute masterpiece for me. And yeah, not much more to say there. Of course, I reviewed it before, and just absolutely love the film. Of course, I chose to watch this, on my birthday week for a reason, and because I truly love this, and you just kind of I had such a great experience. In fact, the best I've ever had with this film, and again, I've seen it many, many times. But an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. After that, I saw Inception once again. So yes, a great, great film, of course. A masterpiece for me, and really a genius work, and one of the best Christopher Nolan films for me personally. And it's not my absolute favourite, but wow, it's really up there. And I guess some would kind of try and piece together what my ranking is. But that will be at some point. I'll do a kind of Nolan ranking, on the channel, and yeah, just I have a few to see, I guess, including, of course, Tenet. I've not seen that yet, and at some point I will rank his films, and I think Inception is certainly one of his best, and a film I absolutely love, and yes, it was a great kind of experience once again. And yes, for my birthday pick this time round, this year, I chose a film to rewatch that truly is one of my favourites, and of course, once again, as I've been going through the Leone films, on the channel, and watching these films again, I chose The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and yes, what an experience it was. In fact, the absolute best experience I've ever had with this film, and again, one of my absolute favourite, top 25 once again, easily, very high in that, and one of the very best films ever made, and it's the reason I chose to watch this film, on my birthday, and once again, what an epic film, it really is unbelievable, this film, and inspires me so much, and it's just so kind of perfect, this film, and beyond, and it was again one of the absolute greatest magnum opuses in cinema, and yes, the day after that, and it was going to be between this and the film the day after, but I chose The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and the day after that I rewatched Raiders of the Lost Ark, and yes, what a film that is, of course. Again, I don't need to go into too much on that film. I've reviewed the film, and it's one of my, as I said before, a contender, pretty much in my top 10, of all time, and just Raiders of the Lost Ark. What can I say? I could say it for the rest of the video, and I'll move on though. It really is one of my favourite films, and I think one of the films that for me most defines cinema, and just one of the very, very best Spielberg achievements, and I won't ruin where it is in my ranking, but of course we'll wait for that. Of course, many people know how much I love of course the trilogy, the entire kind of Indiana Jones trilogy, and Raiders for me, it's just so special, and I love this film. I've seen it many, many times. I can watch it on loop, and it's been 2 years and 3 months since I last seen the film, and it feels like I'd be deprived from seeing Raiders, because I have to watch it every so often, and that's a long time to go without watching a film like Raiders of the Lost Ark. What can I say? It doesn't really get, or it rarely gets better than that. There's a few films, but it's really, wow, so enjoyable. It literally is, a film that defines cinema more than pretty much any film ever made. And as I say, just one of my favourites. So yes, Raiders, of course. And the day after that, I talked about this recently. Rewatching Toy Story, of course. I'm going to be going through some more Pixar films again, and the very first Pixar feature film. I've seen some of their shorts as well. Before that, but the first feature film by Pixar, and just what a film this is. It is so special to me, and many, many people. Of course, I'll save my thoughts for the review, which will come at some point, and it's one of the films that is listed on my kind of September, or slightly into October kind of schedule of filming a review, of course, not necessarily uploading, editing, but filming. So yes, it should be up fairly soon, and yes. Skipping over some shorts here, we'll kind of talk about that. I Know What You Did Last Summer, a film I'd seen before, and I remember thinking, it's a very strange film. I wasn't too big on it, and but I thought there were some things in it that I liked. Again, there's some things that I like about the film, but just it's not a film that overall you kind of enjoy. I don't think it's a good film personally, and I just think, it's just it's not a great film for me personally. Although I'd recommend it if you've not seen it, just to check it out. And who knows. Everyone reacts differently. I'm not personally, much of a fan of the film, really, and it was kind of a frustrating watch, once again. But yes, next up is a film that's certainly not frustrating, and once again, I just had the urge to see, as Marlon Brando, and of course, once again watching On the Waterfront, of course, truly a stunning film, and of course, Brando's performance, is masterful. But just the film itself as well, is masterful in my opinion, and really a stunning film. If you've not seen it before, again, highly recommend it. I saw it first in 2014, and that that experience stuck with me. And then again last year, I reviewed it, of course. If you're interested in my thoughts, and this time around, my third watch, of course, and it really is a stunning film, and just a legendary achievement, of course. Brando, once again, one of my favourite actors, and yes, the film after that, that after that, I saw for the first time Sabotage, of course, the Alfred Hitchcock film, and from 36, of course, the year after the 39 Steps, and yeah, it's a film. I said recently, my Blu-ray video, the update. It's a film I enjoyed. Not one of my favourites, and not. I think not for me. A great film, but definitely a compelling film, a fine watch, and one that I did enjoy quite a bit. And just a very very short film indeed. But it's just it's a tense film at times, and I think. Having said that, very, very light, and just kind of easygoing as well. So yeah, I enjoyed the film, and I will be reviewing it as well very, very soon. And again, it won't be a long review, but I just because there's not too much to say about it. It's very short, and it's just a very it's an enjoyable film. I look forward to talking about the film and sharing my thoughts, and giving my rating, for example. And 2 films left now, and then we'll get to, of course, the favourite first watches, and then we'll end the video. So yes, one of these films to mention now, one of the last 2, is of course Lawless, and yes, quite a big cast here. Tom Hardy especially, Jessica Chastain as well, and just a film I'd seen 2 times before this, and first time around, kind of a funny story. First time around I saw this, I thought I really liked it, and then around a year or so. From that kind of first watch, I saw it again, and because I was studying my A levels, and one of the subjects was history. Always a big history buff, and just of course I had to choose that as one of my subjects, and one of the essays I had was pick a film or a TV show or a season or an episode or something like this, to kind of write an essay on, and relating to the Prohibition era. So of course, Lawless being about bootlegging, of course, and kind of crime around this time. I chose this. I thought, that's I was looking through on TV, and I thought I'll choose Lawless, and I watched the film, and I was thinking it's very hard to actually write about the film, because maybe it's not the best to kind of choose for this particular essay, and I watched it anyway though, and just kind of watched it, and I thought I'll probably pick Boardwalk Empire actually, to kind of talk about that, and how it's kind of how it kind of explores prohibition, because that's a perfect way to do that, because that's a really for the record a great show, and is just stunning in how it kind of explores that time period, and kind of really gets into the Prohibition period, and I didn't think Lawless really did, so that's kind of funny there, and I watched the film anyway, and then I just watched an episode of Boardwalk. I was already rewatching at that point anyway, so it's very easy for me to write just about Boardwalk Empire, but that's kind of something I always remember, and I was kind of, not just because of that, but I was disappointed kind of on my second watch with Lawless, and this time around, the same kind of experience. I thought perhaps I would like it more, and I was just kind of thinking about it in a different way. Lawless, when I was around the second watch, but unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of this film actually, and I do like some aspects of this. I think it's got some really good moments, but overall, I don't quite like this film actually. I think it is quite disappointing, underwhelming, and I'm not a big fan of it. Although I did enjoy aspects, I think I'd recommend it, but it's not for me. Much of a good film, and that's interesting. I always remember kind of watching it again, thinking, oh, we'll go for Lawless, and then realizing I can't really write about it too much, really, specifically. And then I thought, as well, I just found myself not as anywhere near as invested. I don't know why. That kind of never happens really, but I just wasn't as kind of into it, and then, as I say, once again, it didn't really grow on me this time round, so it's just kind of a film I'm not really a big fan of actually. And yes, the last film of the month, that I'm going to mention here is a truly stunning film, and it really is a film I'd been wanting to see. Of course, it did not disappoint, and yes, The Imitation Game, and what a stunning film this is. It really is just a very, very special film. Of course, Benedict Cumberbatch, and a massive cast here as well. Great performances, but this film, I won't spoil it at all. I'll just kind of say I absolutely loved it. It was funny, it was charming, a wonderful recreation of the time period, a really nostalgic film, as well, and just very, very emotional. It really got me, this film, and again, I can't spoil the film at all. I don't want to do that, but I'd recommend seeing it if you've not. And it took a while for me to see it. I'd been wanting to see it, since it came out. But yeah, finally watching this, and yes, we'll just leave it on that for now. And, yes, let's get into my favourite first watches, of each month. And for July, there were some films I watched. A very interesting month. Some different art films, and other films that I wanted to see as well for a long time. And again, rewatches. I think there was some definite really good kind of first time watches during July. But for me, the one that easily outshined them, I think, and just was for me the masterpiece of July that I watched, and just again blew me away. I'm still thinking on this experience, and just for me an absolute masterpiece, and that is of course Children of Men. What a film, as I say. This is, and really an absolute masterpiece, and as I say, one of the best films of the 2000s. Once again, wonderful direction, and I think the characters, the kind of the world building, and the atmosphere, and the different one shots in this film, very famous moments. Again, won't get into it for spoilers, but I think truly a stunning film, and it really, really kind of blew me away, and got me thinking, and truly this is a legendary achievement, and such a kind of inspiring film. So yes, that was July, my favourite first watch. August, once again, it's mostly rewatches, and some films that weren't too great, that I watched for the first time, but as I've just mentioned, the final film that I watched was a stunning film. Of course, for me, yes, my favourite first watch of August was The Imitation Game, and easily for me the best, an absolute masterpiece for me, and such a moving experience, and really inspiring as well. Very, very inspiring, this film, and really just once again, I'd recommend seeing it, and see what you think. And I will be potentially talking about this film at some point, on the channel. Although again, I've got a massive backlog, and generally the films I've not talked about, and they've been on the backlog for longer. I'll start off with them, and so Imitation Game. The Imitation Game will be reviewed at some point, hopefully, and in some way. But I think it won't be quite yet in that sense. But yeah, I aim to kind of talk about all these films that I've been mentioning. The ones I say I'll review that eventually, and it's just a matter of time. And I am trying, and I've got a new schedule. But yes, for now, I will say The Imitation Game, and of course Children of Men were my picks for the first. Favourite first watches of July and August, of course, and I look forward to sharing my favourite first watches next time round, of September, of course, and October, and once again, it's great to do this, and tell me your thoughts, on these films. Have you seen them? If you have, you can comment on as many as you want. Just discuss these films, a variety of films. To discuss, so many to talk about, and it would be great to hear your thoughts. But yes, The Imitation Game, and of course Children of Men, both masterpieces, and both films that really especially blew me away, and so many rewatches, of course, even better, rewatching my favourites, and just of course August being my birthday month, a great time, watching, for example, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and I look forward to talking about that film as well at some point. Of course, many of these I'll review, some I won't, and at least I've kind of mentioned them at some point, in the video. So yes, tell me your thoughts. What have you been watching during this time? Feel free to share, your experiences and what's your favorite stuff and all this, and what surprised you, and just let's talk about cinema and your kind of film watching, logging, and just continue the discussion. So yes, once again, I look forward to the next one, and as always, take care and thanks for watching.